I'm Catherine Anaya, and welcome to My Home Group TV. In this My Life Changers episode, meet Niki Woehler. Her life changed dramatically when she left the world of marketing and advertising to become an artist. She is an artist who inspires with her ability to paint and also encourage others to take a leap of faith and do what they love.
Every time I see on somebody's face that they love something that I've created, well, you know what? I think each one of them is like my children, right? It's like one of my kids. And so it's like hearing from somebody that your kid's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
right?
It's a wonderful feeling.
It's an amazing feeling.
Niki Woehler is a celebrated artist. You'll find her paintings hanging in high-profile galleries and custom homes in Arizona, Colorado, and Texas. One look at her work, and you might be shocked to learn she's only been painting professionally less than 7 years. It's fascinating to me that you went through so much of your life not realizing that you had this ability. Or did you?
No.
Were there any signs?
No, there were no signs. I didn't even like art in high school. I'm fairly certain I might have come close to failing the class.
How Niki became an artist is only part of her story. It's also about what can happen when you are fearless in the pursuit of what feeds your soul.
It's the story that I actually had the nerve to leave a profession that I was in for almost 30 years because it no longer made my heart happy, and then jump into something like art. Because let's face it,
Well, you hear struggling artists all the time.
Right. And that's actually something that I decided right off the bat. If I was going to do this, I was not going to be a struggling artist.
Niki's story begins in Toronto, Canada. She was 14 when she first started taking notice of her mom's job as a VP at an advertising agency.
So that's kind of how I started developing an interest in it. And then by the time I was 16, I was a paid copywriter writing, TV and radio spots for, pretty big clients.
She fell in love with advertising, studied it in school, and by the early 2000s, she was living in Phoenix, Arizona, running her own agency.
And I had great clients: Vitamin Water, Smart Water, Fuse, NOS, Harlem Globetrotters.
So you were a heavy hitter.
I don't know if I would call myself a heavy hitter.
A mover and a shaker.
I would say that I was really fortunate. I would say that I had some amazing clients that trusted me to do some really fun things with them.
So you're having this great time, you're developing this great business, you have great relationships. Where in the world does being an artist come into play?
This is where the magic actually begins.
That magic first took shape a few years before at a somber moment in Niki's life. A business associate driving back to Phoenix from Las Vegas fell asleep at the wheel and died.
I remember it really shaking me, and I remember so clearly the day that I went to his funeral. I was driving home from it, and I was sad, and I had the roof down on my car, and I was kind of looking up going, "You dummy, like this is a beautiful day. I shouldn't have been going to your funeral." And this voice just whispered in my head, "You need to stop in and go get canvases and paints." I was driving past a Michael's. And I listened. I don't know why, because I hated art in school. I hated it. But I did. So I remember going into Michael's and plopping down my credit card and buying all these big giant canvases and all these paints and brushes and things I had no clue what I was going to do with, but I just felt like I needed to do that.
She went home and completed her first painting. Then she invited her neighbor, who just so happened to be an art professor at Arizona State University, to look at her finished work.
So she came in and she looked at it and she said, "That's your first painting?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Oh." And she turned around and she started to walk away. And I was like, "Is it that bad?" And she said, "No, actually, it's that good. I don't want to influence you in any way. The only thing I'm going to tell you is keep painting."
Niki took the advice to heart, creating a few more paintings. But her hobby took a back seat when she became a mom.
At one point I had 3 kids, 3 and under. And a full-time job. At that point I'd also gone into media. And so I just didn't have the time to paint anymore. And so I probably didn't pick up my brushes probably 8-9 years.
But when she finally did again, all those special feelings she had about painting came flooding back. The more she painted, the happier she became.
Right? It was like my peace. It was how I relaxed and, from a stressful day. But I never told anybody that I painted. And I didn't want to hear that I was no good, right? Because it was my thing.
During that time, the economy soured and Niki was falling out of love with her advertising career.
It had gone from, I love this and I'm passionate about it and it makes me happy, to, I have to do this today.
It felt like work.
It felt like work, and it had been feeling like work for a couple years.
As fate would have it, Niki was at home painting when a work client called. Niki confessed she was not at the office, but at home, painting, as an art, not walls. That client asked to see her work.
I sent her a few photos of some of my work, and the next thing I know, I get a photo in return. And it's of a blank wall, and then a couple more photos of things all around it. And she said, "You're great, paint me something."
So she did. Her client's reaction to what she painted was unlike anything she expected.
Brought her in the room and let her open her eyes, and she loved it. I mean, I could tell she actually, truly, really loved it.
How did that make you feel?
There's almost no words. It was pretty amazing.
Do you still get that feeling?
Every time.
So that has not changed.
It never changes.
Niki intended to only charge her client the cost of her materials.
She wrote me a check that was significantly larger. So much larger that I didn't feel comfortable taking it. And she asked why, and I said, I'm not qualified to earn that kind of money for doing something that I love. In retrospect now, silly thing to say, but so I ripped up the check.
They compromised at something Niki felt was reasonable.
It was still quite a lovely check. And then she said, no, do 2 more. She bought them, and then she said, "You're really good at marketing. You're great. You're talented, really talented. And if you don't do this for a living, you're an idiot. You need to be an artist. This is what you're supposed to be doing." And I thought, Niki, why don't you just be brave for about 20 seconds?
Right, what do you have to lose?
What do you have to lose? So I took one of my paintings and I popped it up on Facebook.
Niki just wanted feedback, but it sold within an hour.
And for an amount that I was quite surprised at.
So she tried it again. And again, it sold immediately.
And I thought, all right, universe, I'm listening to you. We're gonna try this one more time. And if it happens again, this is what we're gonna do. We are gonna be an artist. And it did.
Within 30 days, she shut down her agency and has never looked back.
This just feeds my soul.
Whatever you want to call it, her encore career, her second act, her calling, Niki the artist took off. She was accepted into 4A Fine Art, a prominent gallery in Aspen.
I hang next to some of the biggest names in art, dead and alive. That gave me this level of confidence that I don't even know if there are words to describe it. I mean, when you're hanging next to, $500,000 Frank Stella, or a Motherwell, or Ashley Collins, it just gives you. I mean, it gave me chills right now just thinking about that feeling when she said yes.
That was a major turning point, giving Niki the self-assurance to get her work into other galleries, gaining more and more exposure.
I think it's leaps. So you start here, but you have to just keep going. And then start thinking bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then suddenly you realize, oh my God, I'm doing it. Like, this is real.
How would you describe your work?
Well, I have 2 different kinds of work. I have got the high gloss resins. They are super rich, saturated colors, but very glossy, shiny finish, smooth to the touch, but they're very dimensional within them. And then I also have my canvas pieces, and those are acrylic and enamels and different pigments and things like that. And those are generally fairly large scale, but more organic. They're very textural, a lot of dimension to them as well. Usually in more muted neutral colors, but sometimes I get crazy and throw some color on there too.
A painting can take her anywhere from a few days to a year to finish.
I won't put anything out into the world that I don't love. And so if I wouldn't hang it on my own wall and go, oh, I really like that, I won't let it out the door.
It's that passion that helped Niki find her purpose.
We all have a purpose on this planet, and we're here for something. And I think, you know, when people say to me, I don't know what I want to do, or I don't love my job anymore, but I don't know what to do, I say, well, can I give you my advice on that? And they always say yes. And I said, go lay down in your room, quiet everything, no music, no TV, get the kids and the dogs out of your space, lay on your bed, close your eyes, and imagine, what would you do if money didn't matter to you? You already have 10 million in the bank. You can do and be whatever you want. What would that be? And that's what you should be doing.
Niki had the courage to take a leap of faith, and in the process is inspiring others to do the same.
And I think if me telling my story gives just one other person the confidence to do that thing that they love, my hashtag is always do what you love. So if my story inspires somebody to do it, then yeah, I will happily take on that title of inspirational or being inspired. There are people that inspire me, and that's our job. I think we are all here to inspire each other and support each other and push each other on, and help each other be the best that we can be and follow our gifts.
She is pretty remarkable. You can find her website at NikiWoehler.com, and also she's on Instagram at Niki Woehler Artist. You can find all of our episodes of My Home Group TV on the My Home Group YouTube channel. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe while you're there. I'm Catherine Anaya. Thanks for watching My Home Group TV. I'll see you next time.